guys, here on Tuesday's BT, Rob Hope from the Owl Rehab Society joining us with Sansi, a gorgeous, gorgeous bird. Welcome back.
Thank you very much for having us.
Tell us about Sansi and the story of how you guys found Sansi, and now it's a pure education.
Sansi actually came to us when he was about 2 months old. He was found by some people up in the Yukon and kept on a boat for 10 days. Unfortunately, the age he was at and the length of time, there was no putting him back to the wild. So he's turned over to the Conservation Officer Service, and they called Owl and asked if we wanted an education bird for our program, because unfortunately he couldn't be released back to the wild, and we got him 15 years ago, and he's been with us ever since.
Well, average size, is this for a bald eagle? Height, weight, wingspan, is this the norm for a bald eagle?
This bird here is a northern male, so he's larger than our males we'd find down here. He's about 10 pounds with about 6.5-foot wingspan. The ones you find down here and farther south tend to be smaller than the northern ones.
Incredible, and I'm so amazed at the trust you have, because at any point, I mean, this beak could attack you. How long did it take to get the trust between you and Sansi?
At least 3 years, just to build up a rapport. It's still a wild animal. He could still turn just like any other wild animal could. It's mutual respect as well as a bond that's been formed over years.
Well, it's nice seeing how calm Sansi is right now, but there's an interesting point. You see it on screen, lead poisoning, given they are opportunistic scavengers. What is happening right now with the concern for the eagles?
Well, currently in the last 3 weeks, we've had 6 lead-poisoned eagles in. Unfortunately, 4 of those were so high that they have passed away. And we find that in X-rays, we're finding lead fragments and or lead pellets within their internal systems.
You know, we have some of these photos. So what are we seeing here for
that's a single projectile. That's a lead bullet with a copper jacket that has penetrated an animal, and basically it mushrooms to harvest the animal, but as you can see, there's fragments. Anytime lead hits something hard, it does fragment, and those are the fragments that are left behind in the animal.
Copper bullets also a concern as well?
No, the copper bullets actually penetrate the animal the same way, and mushroom, still take the animal out efficiently without the fragments that are left behind. The copper still mushrooms and does what a bullet's supposed to do.
Well, you've brought some X-rays too, which is fascinating when the eagles are looking for food, and this is, what are we seeing particularly in this photo?
This photo here, you can see there's some pellets, so those probably came from a shotgun. The pellets are in the internal system of the eagle there, and unfortunately when they're that far down, it's really hard to remove them from the bird.
Okay, and the final one?
And that's a mammal that's been shot with a small caliber single projectile, and there's lots of fragments around the actual entrance that the bullet went through into the animal. And as you can see, all those little pieces of lead are the fragments that are left behind. Well,
there's a quick way to test it, and you've brought this. So how we fix this problem, I know you have a test and treatment. What can be done to help stop and protect these birds?
You know, we do have machines for testing, but to stop it from happening, I mean, it's really hard to say, but definitely people can make a choice in the outdoor community for hunting and fishing, switching to non-lead alternatives. You know, it's something we can do now that will hopefully evolve over the future, and we can try and remove as much of the lead from the environment as we can.
Well, it's a great message to end on. We'll put the website on our Facebook page as well, so you can learn. Always a great education with the birds. Rob, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you very much for having us.
Sansi, excellent guest. I'm still looking at those talons in your glove. Very calm, beautiful bird nonetheless. Yikes. All right, owlrehab.org. We'll take a break.